Hey everybody, welcome back to Laser Engraving 911. So in this episode, I'm going to take you on a journey and show you how we personalize one of the most unique items that's come into my shop in quite a while. 40 personalized groundbreaking shovels, 3 areas of personalization, 4 different machines to get the job done, and a whole lot of prep and planning to put it all together. So in this video, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes, show you exactly how I approach this project, explain why I chose the machines that I chose to complete the project, and share some insightful and practical tips on how I use these machines along the way. So if that sounds like something you want to get into, then buckle up, get your pen and paper out, because we're about to dig into it on Laser Engraving 911. Before we get into the scope of the project, I do have an ask for you.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Along the way, while you're watching this video, if you have any questions about anything I talk about or any process, or you're just not sure about it, leave it in the comments below. I love it when people ask questions and I love helping you out. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to Laser Engraving 911 yet, what are you doing?
Oh, come on!
When you subscribe, you get notified when I release awesome content like this, and it helps support my channel. All right, so let's talk about the scope of the project. What did the customer ask us to do? Well, they've got a groundbreaking ceremony and they wanted to deliver 40 shovels to us to have them personalized for the ceremony. Sounds easy, right? But when you really think about it, you've got some issues that you've got to overcome. 1, the shovel is 3.5 feet tall. 2, the areas that need to be engraved are 3 different materials. You've got powder coated metal on the shovel head, hickory wood handle in the middle, and then some kind of polymer or ABS plastic on the actual handle where you put your hand. I love challenges like this, and so my brain started thinking immediately and we took on the job. We've got challenges, right? We've got to figure out how to fixture all this up. So I decided to tackle the shovel head first, because that was honestly the part that was giving me the most nightmares at night thinking about it. And I knew that I was going to be using the 4-inch lens for this, which we're going to talk about in just a second, because you need to know about 4-inch lenses, especially for projects like this. So I started thinking of different fixtures, and can I use the pan of ice or maybe set some boxes up outside of the laser, because I knew that the handle had to stick out. Maybe I could scan the shovel head and then 3D print like the perfect mold for it to fit in. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going off the rails here.
Hey, buddy, slow down.
I'm just gonna call Seth and see what he thinks about my idea. He actually had a better idea, which uses a small fixture and screw pin system that fits into your honeycomb bed, that you can set up a little grid on there and just wedge the edges of the shovel underneath these pins with these big large heads on them. And he's like, what if you kind of put these in an array, go right over the edges of the shovel as you lay your shovel flat on the bed, and then just kind of let the shovel go and it will just kind of hold in place. After I went over to the H2D and printed some of these out and started making a little array in the epilogue, I realized very quickly that this was a very viable solution. This system that we used here worked for 40 shovels flawlessly, and it held in the same place every single time. I'll list a link in the description below if you want to reach out to Seth. Maybe he can make some of these for you for your honeycomb table. He's got a whole bunch of other stuff there. Now let's talk about that 4-inch lens and show you how I focused to this curved surface. Your CO2 laser may have the option to have a 4-inch or a 2-inch lens, and sometimes some other lenses in between. Most CO2 lasers come by default with a 2-inch lens, and this is a great lens for doing detailed engraving, detailed laser cutting, and it stays in focus really sharp, and it has a small dot size, but it also goes out of focus very easily. It's not 4 inches wide, it's a 4-inch focal distance, but when you have that lens in, it is much more forgiving when it comes to curved surfaces, and this shovel was anything but flat. I had to engrave 5 inches wide on an inner curved surface. It was able to sweep the whole 5 inches and stay generally in focus. I didn't focus right at the lowest point, and I didn't focus right at the highest point. I focused half in between the lowest and the highest point. And I also used 600 DPI and a lot of power to make sure I could throw that beam far. And plus, I needed to get past the powder coating paint down to the metal. They're also great for cutting really thick material because your cuts will stay straighter, longer on that thicker material. And then also you can use them if you need to engrave inside of like a tea tray that has walls on it, because you're not down in the tray and the gantry's moving back and forth. You can actually shoot from up here down into the tray. If your CO2 model has the option to get an additional 4-inch lens, I highly recommend that you get one of those and always have it in your shop for these kinds of applications. So now we had a repeatable fixture. We picked the right lens for the job. We picked our focal point and our DPI and our power and speed settings, and all that was left to do was engrave all 40 of these shovels, and it actually went great. I never had one shovel collapse or fall out of the laser. Each one took about 4.5 minutes. And while that was going, I actually started working on setting up the next stage, which was going to be on the xTool F2 Ultra using the diode laser, engraving the back of each shovel on the hickory wood using the diode laser. First of all, I knew that this was hickory wood on the handle. And hickory wood with the CO2 laser doesn't engrave that dark, but one of the benefits of using a diode laser is that diode lasers have a smaller spot size and they usually engrave dark on any wood. So I was like, yes, the F2 Ultra is a Galvo-based kind of semi-open system where you can open the door and set objects underneath it. And I knew this would be perfect because remember, the shovel doesn't come apart, doesn't lay flat or anything, but what if I just put the xTool F2 Ultra at the end of my work table here, hung the shovel metal head off the edge, fixtured up the bar using some pins. I had total freedom to get that handle inside of the machine, but it was weighted on one side. So what was I gonna do there? Instead of thinking of some complex 3D printed fixture for this, it's actually much simpler than that. I had a really heavy cutting board that I was able to just lay on the handle, which served two purposes. It was heavy enough to keep this side of the shovel down, but since it's flat, it actually kept the shovel at the right angle so I could get right on the back of the shovel and not have to worry about it twisting in there. It served two purposes. I know it's a little janky, but it worked great. Setting up the engraving on the xTool F2 Ultra was very easy. I loaded my graphic into the system. I did take a snapshot, but I want to tell you, I don't usually use the camera. I much rather would use a framing box. When I loaded my graphic in there, I was able to use the framing feature to frame the exact area and where it was gonna go on the shovel. And since this is an open system, I was able to stand at different angles and look down the shaft of the shovel to make sure that my box was aligned right where it needed to be. And I set some stop points on the table with some tape so I knew where to stop on the shovel to get it right centered. Then it was just a matter of dialing in the settings, which I did have a practice shovel, and my first setting was a little too hot. But once I dialed in those settings, it was just a matter of setting the shovel in there, putting the cutting board on, closing the door so I protect my eyes, running the job over and over and over again. And I will tell you that while this may look janky, it worked great and the shovels look fantastic. And one more little side note when you're engraving on curved surfaces with the xTool F2 Ultra is we also split the difference on that graphic there because we knew that the shaft was cylindrical. So I didn't focus right to the top. I split the difference between the lowest point and the highest point, and that's where I aligned my two lasers to make sure that while it was engraving, it stayed in focus. So before we move on to the eufyMake E1 and those decals, I do have a little special request. Look, if you're watching this video and you've got any questions in your head, drop them in the comments below. And also, did you know that you can sign up over at laserengraving911.com? It's completely free, and then you get access to all kinds of additional resources that I've put together to help you on your laser engraving or UV printing journey. There's all kinds of great information over there. There's settings. So if you haven't signed up over there already, I'll list a link in the description below. It's totally free and get access to all my additional extra laser engraving goodies. Let's get on to the next step. The final personalization area of the shovel, and that is the actual handle where you put your hand. Initially, they wanted us to engrave that, and we were thinking, yeah, we can use the UV laser, we'll use the fiber laser. But when we actually got the shovel, we realized that it's a type of plastic or injection molding that we really didn't want to mess with any of the lasers. We couldn't really tell what it was, but I thought, what if they would be okay if we created a custom printed UV decal and we put that on there instead? And we asked them and they were like, that sounds great.
Let's do it, E. Let's do it.
This process was really straightforward. We started by sizing it correctly over in Adobe Illustrator. I knew I was going to be printing out 40 of these, so instead of just nesting out 40 of the size logos, I actually created a bounding box in black around each logo that was the exact width of the shovel handle. And this is because later when I had to cut all those decals out, they were very easy to register on the handle because that cutout was the exact width. I like to do that when I have decals that are going in the same area on products. Try to create a border that matches the actual area that we're putting the decal. We put down the A film on the eufyMake onto the Seclima mat, which by the way, if you didn't know about that, I'll list a link in the description below on where to get that and you can watch my whole video on it. I put my film down, loaded in the graphics that we just created into the software, selected UV decal sticker mode on there, which it's right there, and then went ahead and started batch printing all these decals. The next step was just to cut out the decals and then bring over the shovels and start applying the decals. Before I did that, I made sure that every single shovel handle was cleaned with methanol. You always want to clean the surface of whatever you're putting these decals on. So we gave it a quick wipe down, peeled off our carrier sheet, lined it up, and then pressed down the decal on the handle. But we're not done yet because these decals are pressure sensitive and you need to press those decals down really, really hard if you want them to stay. The best way on this curved surface was to use a little plastic handle from a paintbrush that I had and just really rub all the parts of the decal down, even the little letters and all that stuff, really, really hard. I put a lot of pressure. I slowly peeled off the carrier sheet, keeping the fold as low as possible, not rushing it, and these decals adhered to these handles perfect and they look fantastic. With everything that we had done, the customer was going to be so stoked and everything went off without a hitch. So now I think we're gonna do a little final wrap up, and I'll give you my final thoughts and suggestions when it comes to projects like this. This project is a great example of why I enjoy having multiple types of systems in my personalization business. I know that not all of us have all of these different machines in your shop. I started off with one CO2 laser when I started my business. But as I grew, I started adding more machines to my shop so I could take on more complex projects. Just to put it into context, let me give you a little breakdown of what we charged for this project. This job invoiced for a little over $4,000 to personalize all these shovels in all these different locations using all these different personalization techniques, and I probably got about 21 hours of labor in on this job. I think it was well worth it. In the end, we created a fantastic product for this customer, and they are going to be so stoked when they hand these out to everyone at their special event. When you add more capabilities in your shop, you are able to achieve these kind of results and take on these kinds of projects. And that was really the point of this whole video, to give you an idea when you have multiple capabilities in your shop, what you're able to achieve. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you've had any crazy projects like this. I love hearing other people's projects. I've listed links as usual to every single machine that was used in this video in the description. If you haven't got a UV printer like the eufyMake yet, you're thinking about the F2 Ultra from xTool, or you even want to upgrade to a professional CO2 laser like the Epilogue one shown in this video. A special thank you to everyone who came by to watch this video and everybody who subscribed to this channel. I couldn't do it without you. So until next time, we'll see you around on Laser Engraving 911.